Hello everyone. On the last we had completed the Sikkim. Sikkim has completed in Asia. European colonization. We are learning how the European people have colonized in different continent, and we are at Asia. In Asia, we had completed the other country also, and Sikkim last time we had completed. Now the Bhutan. Bhutan is also a neighboring country in India. And first, why the British are capturing the neighboring country? Because they want to secure the India. Because, for example, if other country like Portuguese and French, if they capture the neighboring area, so definitely they will enter into the India. So that's why the British people were very smart. They captured the border and the neighboring countries of India so that they can rule in a long way. Bhutan. Bhutan is a neighboring country of India. It's located near its northern border and to the east of Sikkim. Okay, and this country is located eastern side of the Sikkim and northern border. Lord Warren Hastings was the first Governor General of India. Had recognized the geographic has recognized the geographic and economic importance of Bhutan. So the British government first Governor General who had recognized in Bhutan the geographic and economic importance of Bhutan, and hence he established a friendly relationship with the country. Okay, so Bhutan is located in the northern side and eastern side of the Sikkim, and there was a British officer, Lord Warren Hastings. He recognized the economic and geographic importance of Bhutan, so that so that they had established a good relationship between with the country, and it helped to open the trade route from Bengal. And when they have a relationship, they it helped to open the route from Bengal to Tibet for the British, because this is the area where makes the route properly. In 1841, the Ashley Eden took an aggressive stand against the Bhutan. So the British officer Eden, he had took a stand against the Bhutan. There was a war between the British in Bhutan and British in 1865. So the British officer had stand against the Bhutan, and because of that, there was a war between British and Bhutan in 1865. The war was concluded with a treaty. Obviously, the war was concluded with a treaty between the Bhutan and British, according to which the king of Bhutan surrendered the territories conquered by Bhutan to the British, and the king was granted an annual subsidy. So when the war was happened, and after the war there was a treaty was signed, so the king of Bhutan has surrendered the some part of area to the British, and British is given against of them. They are giving the subsidy, annual subsidy, which means the money they are giving annually. Later, in another treaty, later the another treaty was happened between British and Bhutan in 1910. The British agreed not to interfere in the internal matters of the Bhutan. So the another matter, another treaty was happened. So here the Britisher had decided, like, we are not going to be interfere the Bhutan internal matters of Bhutan, and Bhutan agreed to guided by the British in external affairs. So in this agreement, two things was happened. The British are not going to be interfere the Bhutan matters, internal matters, and the Bhutan people will be guided for the external matter. Like, they will take help from the external affairs, whatever problem they will take help from the British. In 1949, in 1945, the treaty was signed on 18 August 1949 between India and Bhutan. So 8 August 1949, there was a treaty was signed between Bhutan and India. Bhutan and India, according to which India assumed a position of an India, and according to this treaty, India assumed an advisory of Bhutan in the matter of defense and external affairs. And if I talk about today, what is the relation between India and Bhutan? India is giving advising. India is playing a advisory role to the Bhutan. So this was the thing. Clear? India is in 8 August 1949. There was a treaty happened between India and Bhutan, and India is giving advice to the uh, Bhutan in external and defense system. Okay. Now the Tibet. So there was Tibet was under the influence of Dalai Lama. So under the influence of Dalai Lama, like the whole Tibet was under the influence of Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama is not completed, but Tibet was uh, run by the Dalai Lama. The British wanted to have hold on Tibet for arresting the Russian advances and to increase their own trade. So British thought like we have to capture this area because they need to arresting the Russian advances over there, and they need to control their area. Okay. So during the Governor General Lord Curzon times, the British military had reached Lhasa. Lhasa is a one city in Tibet. Uh, Lhasa is the capital city of Tibet in 1907 as per treaty. As per in 1907 as per treaty between England and Russia. England and Russia, the politician rule of China in Tibet was principally acknowledged. So there was a treaty between England and Russia. So the political rule of China in Tibet was principally acknowledged during that treaty. There was a treaty between happened Britisher and the Russia, and the political rule of China in Tibet was acknowledged over there, and it gave a leeway. It gave a leeway to China to claim Tibet as an internal part of China. So during this agreement between the Britisher and China, okay, sorry, Britisher and Russia, they had put it the topic of China, how the China is telling that the Tibet is internal part. So they they have in the agreement they have acknowledged that part. Okay. So obviously the Tibet, why the Britisher wants to capture the area of Tibet, because there are some Russian advances are there, so that's why they need to remove that Russian advances, and it was under the influence of Dalai Lama. Clear? Now the Africa. Now let's talk about Africa. European travelers. The European travelers reached Africa also. However, the African territory with its advanced forest, the European travelers, which means European people have traveled to Africa also. The African territory with its defense, with its defense, which the African territory which is dense forest. The forests are very dense in Africa. Some European people have traveled to Africa, and there was a dense forest. Forest dense means the forests are very ghana, evergreen, and widespread like swamps and deserts are there, unfamiliar to them. So European people have traveled there, and the environment was totally unfamiliar for the European people. Then Leopold II, the king of the Belgium, had had Congo under his dominance. So there was a Leopold II, the king of Belgium, had control the one part of, there was a one area Congo is under his dominance, and he convened a geographical conference at in Brussels, and he convened one the geographical conference in Brussels in 1876. So he had made a meeting in Brussels in 1876. European geographers and researchers had gathered in this assembly. There was an assembly held by him, Leopold King II, and he had made the meeting, and every geographers and researcher have as present over there, and it was decided there establish and to establish an institution called International Association of Exploration Exploration Civilization of Central Africa. So through this assembly they have established one of association. The association name is Exploration and Civilization of Central Africa, for the purpose of dissemination knowledge in Africa. So why they have established this institution? For the purpose of giving the information of Africa to the world. In 1884, a conference of European nation. There was a conference European nation was organized in Berlin. So another conference was organized in Berlin to explore the opportunity in Africa. To explore the opportunity in Africa available to them. So there was another conference held in 1884 in Berlin. And why this conference is held? Because they want to explore the opportunities of Africa available to them. So the true purpose of this conference was to discuss the possibility of dividing the African territory amongst themselves. So the second meeting was held in Berlin. So the true purpose of this conference was they want to divide themselves the territory among themselves. Like, I will in Africa, this Nigeria part I will be happen, so this part you will be handle. Okay, so they were very smart. So the two meeting was held because of this situation. Now in the Berlin conference, so in the Berlin conference, the Belgian supremacy in Congo was acknowledged. So in this conference, the Belgian supremacy was acknowledged over here. They had talked about how this Leopold II had dominance in a Congo. Okay, and Congo was renamed as Congo Free State. Okay, acknowledged by all, and Congo was renamed as Congo Free State. And it was also decided in this conference that if any European nation fails in utilizing the natural resources in the colonies under their charge, then that nation should be given to the another European nation. So in this second meeting in Berlin, which was held, okay, so here the topic of Congo, which was captured by the Belgian king, it was also acknowledged there, and then that name was referred, then Congo Free State. Like, if you if any colonizer not able to utilizing their natural resource in a properly, so that colonist need to be give to another European nation so they can utilize. So this was the rule was decided there. Then George Topman, okay, George Topman Goldie was a British citizen. Okay, George Topman Goldie was a British citizen who founded the National African Company in England. Clear? The George Topman Goldie was a British citizen who founded the National African Company in England. He founded the National American Company in England. Okay, African Company in England, George Topman. A charter was issued to him by the British government. There was a charter was issued to him, George, by the British government permitting to conduct trading operation in Nigeria. So British government has given the license like you can do trading in Africa, in Nigeria. Later the company was acquired by the British government. So this company was the what he made was taken by the British government, and Nigeria became colony governed by the British, and Nigeria was colonized by the British government. They were so first a George Topman Goldie, a British citizen who had made one association for Africa, and this was taken by the British government, and British have captured the Nigeria. Okay, then Bismarck, the Chancellor of Germany. Okay, Bismarck, the Chancellor of Germany, established the first German colony in West Africa in 1883, and it was named Togoland. So Bismarck, the Chancellor of Germany, he had established the first German colony in the West Africa in 1883. Okay, he had opened the first German colony. Okay, first German colony in West Africa in 1883. In Africa, it made the one colony, and it was named Togoland. Germany also established its colony in Cameroon and Southwest Africa. So Germany also captured the African part, the Southwest Africa. Then France established their supremacy in Senegal, in Gambia, and in the region of North of Congo. So this France also captured the area. In 1883, the Ivory Coast of became the French colony. Later, France acquired the region of Dahomey for Portugal. Until 1914, the France has established their control over the region from Sahara Desert to Ivory Coast to the west and France. Guinea. Okay, Guinea. I am stopping here. Clear? And tomorrow we will complete from here to here.